Welcome to the CITS video series.
Well, this session is going to cover the new content tool in Desire to Learn version 10.1. And we're also going to take a look at the new theme that is going to be launched after January 9th's upgrade. So as you can see, we've taken the marketing, there's a U for you, and added that and the college's logo and brightened up the look of Desire to Learn. Thanks to Jennifer Hendricks from UW Colleges Online who did this work. We've also modified the navigation bar both at the My homepage level and the My Course level so that they match in both the online instance and the campus instances of D2L. So if you teach both online and on campus, or you're a student in both, they'll match and you won't have to be searching for tools. So that'll be a really good thing. Online, we'll see this widget for assistance. Colleges won't on the campuses, but otherwise the homepage will look pretty much like this. We've also moved all the resources from the homepage to a links page, and there's a whole bunch of them that are there. That's where you'll find the course request form, the photo roster generator, links to training materials, etc. So that's where all those things have been moved. So focusing on the course content tool, what I'd like to do first is show you what the course content looks like when you go into a course that has no content in it. So here's a course. It's the content page and there is no content in it. So as you can see, it looks very different. On the left is navigation, and there are basically four parts to the content area. There's a course overview here, and that allows you to introduce your course, and you may introduce it with an introduction about the course, your picture, you might put your syllabus and course calendar here. It's totally up to you. And notice that it says drag a file here to add it to the overview. So I can go to my desktop or wherever and grab a file and drag it, and notice how that turns green. When I drop this, it will add the file to the course. I'm not going to do that right now. We'll do it a little later. So we have a total drag and drop option within the course content tool, which is new and it is awesome. Right now, however, it does not work in Internet Explorer 8, 9, or 10. So, but it does work in IE 11, it works in Chrome, and it works in Firefox. So D2L is working with Microsoft on that to get it to work in 9 and 10. Bookmarks we'll talk about a little bit later. That's a tool that's been around for a long time, but not many have used it. Upcoming events relate to the calendar. If you use the calendar tool to identify when quizzes are happening, tests are happening, homeworks are due, those will show up here in a little bit different format. And then the table of contents is really the content of the course as we know it from previous versions of D2L. And you'll see it listed here by module. We can add a module here. And once you add modules, then if you click on a module, it will show up on the right and you can add your topics there. So that's what this will look like without any content at all. So let's go back and take a look at a course that does have some content in it. So we're going to look at our Roadshow course, and we'll start at the overview. And I want to first of all remind you that these little arrows are always important to look at. So here it says that I can change the attachment or remove the attachment. Whoops, I didn't mean to click on that, but that's okay. So here's my introduction, and I can edit it and update it. I can drag another file here if I want to and drop it, but I won't do that right now. And you can see that I did drag a syllabus that I dug out of my archives. And it's, once I click on it, which I've already done, or once a student clicks on the icon for the syllabus, it shows in a format that's readable. They can also download it by clicking on this arrow, and they can move from page to page using these arrows. They can also zoom in or zoom out. So it makes it really handy to read inline in both in the course overview area, but throughout the content. Now, the settings link is important to take a look at. And I always encourage you to look at little arrows and settings links, because there's something there that might be of interest. So the first thing I want to point out here is default completion status. Desire to Learn has inserted a new tool for learner success into version 10.1. And a part of that is completion status. So for every topic in the content tool, you can set it up so that anytime a student opens and attach a document, you can have it automatically marked that they've opened it, or you can have it be a manual completion whereby they open it, they read it, and then they mark it themselves that they've completed it, or you can just not track that if you don't want to. The manual completion is the one that's recommended because, of course, we're looking to encourage the students to track their work. And it also is a form of self-satisfaction as you complete each step in the course. So this is going to be available throughout the content. And if you set it here, this is going to be the default for all of your topics. So if I set it on manual, that's the default. Now, drag and drop upload automatically update files that have the same file name. You'll want to check this so that if you upload your syllabus and you find an error and you want to edit it offline, upload it again with the same name, it will automatically replace it. Make sure this is checked. So that's why you want to go into settings, even if it's just for that. You'll also notice they have some new font options and font sizes, and we're going to click on Save. So we're all set there with settings. We've got that ready to go. My course overview is complete. Let's take a look at bookmarks. So right now in this course, I don't have any bookmarks, but in this other course, if actually, I think I do have some bookmarks. Let me go look at my class list here. And I'm going to impersonate Charlie Brown. I think Charlie Brown has some bookmarks. So we go to Content. And we click on Bookmarks. Now I'm Charlie Brown. I'm a student in the class. And we see that he has a bookmark. We also notice there's a check mark there, and that's that auto completion or manual completion. It means he's completed it. But if he clicks on this or if I click on it for him, what it will do is it takes the student or the instructor right to that document in the content. And they can go ahead and read the document right there. And again, zoom in, zoom out, download. And for students that have iPads, they can use the Binder application on the iPad. If they want to download this to their Binder and mark it up, they can send it to their Binder, which is a fairly new tool. Notice that we also get breadcrumbs. That's a new option. So Charlie Brown can go back to the content tool from here once he's done. But let me go back there and show you how to turn off the bookmark. Doing this means the bookmark's removed. Now we click again and we've added it back. All right. So how is that useful? Well, for a student, it helps them remember where they want to return to. It may help them mark parts of the course that they want to especially pay attention to prior to a test, etc., etc. For faculty, you could use bookmarks to mark documents that you want to come back to and edit prior to the next semester, or replace prior to the next semester. So that's why they've Desire to Learn included that in the content tool. So upcoming events is going to pull things from the schedule. And upcoming events picks 7 days off of the calendar for the course. You create this by going to the course calendar under My Tools. Okay. If we look at the course schedule, it will look at everything that's on the calendar for the course from the beginning, the first day of the course. Now this course started in May, and we're going to notice that now we see everything that's there. And this is printable and very handy if it has all the information students need to have, all the important dates they need to have. But when we go to upcoming events, there's nothing on the calendar that's upcoming in the next 7 days. So that's how that works. Finally, and most importantly, we have the table of contents. The settings tool is the same. We've already talked about that. Under table of contents, we have set all completion methods. We've already touched on that in the settings tool. We can download the table of contents. We can delete all modules. Don't want to do that. The import-export button is important because not only is it the import-export, like if you were to import a course cartridge from a publisher, but it's also where you go to copy components from a previous semester. All right, you're going to hunt for the copy components because it's not written down anywhere. It's under import export. They ran out of room on the button and decided that they would just leave it at import and export. So we accidentally found that. All right, the bulk edit, what that does is let you, when you click on it, you can do any kind of editing in every single content topic in the course all at once. Now turn that off. And then the related tools is how you get to the course builder if you're a big fan of that and you'd rather use that than this content tool. It takes you to manage files and it lets you view reports. Now the reports tool, just to show you, is going to give you a bit more information than in the past. It gives you a lot more information on the users. And when we get to looking at view progress in another video, you'll see that there's a lot of information in the reports. So hold on for that. Okay, so how do I build my table of contents? Well, start out by adding a module. And if you click here, we can add a module. We'll just call it Module 7. All right, there it is. And then to add to it, we can do the usual. We can upload a file, create a link, which is the quick link to a discussion, a quiz, whatever. Or we can pull a file out of Manage Files that we've already uploaded. But this is the difference in the new content tool. We can build a discussion right here. We can build a new Dropbox right here. We can build a new quiz right here. We don't have to go to those tools to build them. Okay. The other thing we can do is we can add activities. Here's our Dropbox discussion. We've already done the work to build these. We can just insert them right here. So if I have a discussion already created, it'll say, which one do you want to use? So I'll go pick this one and say insert it. All right, that's how we would normally do it, but I'm going to delete that. And I'm going to say create a new one. There we go. Everything I need to do to create a new discussion. The title, which forum it goes under, or if I want a new forum, all the instructions. And publish means make it public versus hiding it. And draft means hide. All right, I'm going to cancel that. So those are all the things you can do right then and there. So you can basically build your whole course in the content tool and never go to the Dropbox, the quizzing area, or the discussion area. Now, you can also connect them to the gradebook. So that's great. So you can work totally in the discussion tool, or in the content tool, excuse me. The one thing I want to mention about the drag and drop, when we drag and drop a file, let me do that here. I'm going to drag and drop a file. See how it appears. And notice that it's got the completion method. We want it to be manual. It appears first as an icon, and it stays that way until the student or you as an instructor click on it, and it will stay that way for each individual user. So until a user clicks on it, it will remain as an icon. Once you click on it, it will open it up and you can view it. So you can view the whole document. Okay. So we'll go back. And because I went back, it put it back in the icon format. Let me show you a module that has an example of a discussion, a rubric, and a quiz that were all created in the content area. So here's the discussion. And if we click on it, it takes us to the instructions, the options. We can view the discussion and participate. And then we can return. Notice that we made everything manual, so when we're done, we check it the student would check it. It's published, so here's how the grade item works. And now we can say, oh, I've got a quiz in this unit, so there's the quiz. And then we've got a Dropbox, and there's a few other things in the unit. Now that's what the instructor sees. Let's go look at what the student sees. We'll look at Charlie Brown again. And go to content. And this is the sample structure content area. And notice the student has, because we're tracking completion of modules, it's showing him that he's completed 4 of 7 topics in this particular module right at the top. So we'll go to rubrics, and it takes the student right to the discussion. Okay, we'll go back to the structure, the Dropbox. We skipped the quiz, notice, and we can upload a document. He's already uploaded one. And notice that the instructor's already graded it. The feedback is there. And we can see the grade, that it's marked complete. And if we want to go back to the quiz now, we can do that right from here and start quiz. If we click on next, it takes us to the Dropbox, and then we've got the rest of the items in the module that we could move forward to. Click on next, there's another Dropbox, a discussion, a document, and another document. So that's what a student sees when they look at a module that has a quiz, a discussion, and a Dropbox in it. So that was all created right in the content tool. Now, other cool things, drag and drop. Let me talk a little bit about dragging and dropping, a little bit more about that. Let's say that you don't want this evaluation module there, you want it more near the end. So I'm going to put it here. If I stop here, it's in between modules, so that's good. So now it's down between the last two. If I stop so that it's on top of a module, what it will do is it will make it a submodule. And I don't want to do that. So I make sure that when I drag modules, I stop in between, unless I want to make them submodules. Now I may make grade recovery a submodule of this new module. So I'll do that. And I go to new module, and we can see that within it, grade recovery is part of it. Okay. I don't want that. So I'm going to bring it down here and put it there. And it's outside. And I'm going to do the same thing with this one. And it's back. They're all now top level modules. Now within a module, here's that one we looked at a couple minutes ago, we can drag things as well and move them. So everything within your content that has a little, those 3 little lines, when you hover, you get the crosshairs. And if you click on it and drag it, you can move it. And that's really nice. So you don't have to do that reordering thing anymore that was so tedious, and move from one module to another. You can drag everything anywhere you want to. So the final thing I want to talk about is just it's a kind of a little bug in 10.1, and that is when you drag and drop files, if I want to bring a whole bunch of files, like let's say all these files, into my content area, that's like 10 files. If I drag them over here and want to drop them, they're going to go into content, but they're going to go into the root folder, and it's going to make my manage files area a mess. Your manage files area should be kept organized. Ideally, if you want to be able to find things, each module should have the files in that module. The files should be within a folder for that module. That's really a best practice. So for right now, when you set up your course, you may want to go to Manage Files. And once you get there, you can see what a mess we have because we've been dragging and dropping a lot of files. See, there's a ton of them, and they're very disorganized. We should have Module 1, Module 2, Module 3, Module 4, and the files within them. That would be much better. In version 10.3, which we're going to be going to in the spring, in June, which is going to have some very limited changes. What they've done is they've fixed this issue so that you can drag a file into the content area, and when you drop it, it will say, which folder in Manage Files would you like this file to go into? So you can organize your files as you drop them in content. So that's a really nice fix that they'll have. So for right now, best practice, drag and drop into Manage Files. Okay, so one last thing that I'll mention, and probably the most important thing, is that what you see is what the students see. They don't see these buttons here, but if we take a look, Charlie Brown is going to see content looking just like what you're seeing, with the addition of his completion bar. But over here, he sees the same thing, and here he'll see the same thing. And if he clicks on a document, it will open it up for him in line, and he can read it. And that's the nicest thing. Really no need for us to have ghost students and or to impersonate students. You're going to see what they see, and that's really cool. One of the best parts of this new content tool. So hopefully you'll enjoy working with it, and if you have questions, you know where to find Carla and myself. We're happy to help you, and Jennifer Hendricks is more than happy to help the online faculty as well. Thanks for joining us.
Brought to you by CITS, making work cooler for a really long time.